All right, so this week's make and take is the Tiny Traveler case. It's right there. I would have a sample, but Katie has it for the live. What you are going to do is you are going to cut your main and your lining fabric. So this is my main. This is my lining. And then you're going to have your zipper. Now, in the pattern, it says decor bond, but we actually use fusible fleece. We like the way it feels better. It's easier to work with. And also, you will notice on the fabric, there's going to be two discrepancies. One's going to say a certain size, and it's going to say width of fabric. You do not get the width of fabric. So when you are putting this together, you are going to take your main pieces with your lining pieces and line them up and put the fusible fleece and your lightweight interfacing on the back, then cut it down to size. Okay? Because you will need 2 of these ones, technically 4, but 2 main and 2 linings. And then you will also need 2 linings and 2 mains this size, and then 1 main lining and fabric this size. And then you will need your zipper. Your zipper does come in the kit. So this one, basically, we're going to start off with putting the zippers on. So we'll start with that. Oops, sorry. I'm just kicking everything around today. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay. So what you're going to do first on this one is you are going to take your main zipper sides. These are called the skinnier side. The skinnier one is going to be your sides. These are considered your sides. These are considered your back and front. I'm sorry, your top and bottom, and then this is considered your back. Now, that being said, we will start with the zipper piece. You are going to take one of your main zippers. So this is my main right here. Turn the camera just a little bit. So you're going to take your zipper. One of your zipper parts have the main flat down. And then you are going to take your zipper with it and have it face down. And then you're going to take your lining and line it up that way. Okay? Take your clips, your pins, however you want to connect them together. Turn on my sewing machine. So then you're just going to clip everything to stick together. You can even turn it around to make sure everything is lining up. Now at this point, if you want to, you can clip the other sides together to keep it from moving on you. I really don't do that. But you can just go over and stick some clips over there. Okay, you can even clip it on the side to keep your sides together. And then grab your zipper foot. Okay. And then go ahead and stitch away on the top. Okay. And go straight down. And then don't forget the back stitch to secure your stitches. And then go ahead and take off your clips. And you can press with your finger, use a finger press, even go to your iron if you want to. I like to use my magic seam wand and just kind of go along there. And I do the same thing over on this side. And I finger press everything open. Okay. And then I go to the iron and I like to iron mine flat, so. Hold on just a second. All right, so once you have ironed it or finger pressed it, however you want to, you can clip just to make sure your edges don't move on you while you're sewing it down. And we're going to top stitch that edge. Okay. Just like so. And then we're going to repeat it for the other side. Okay. So, bring this up a little bit. Same thing on the other side. You can have it now where the line is facing up. Okay. Again, I just clip a little bit. And then I'm going to lay this one right here. Again, Pinner clip, make sure you're getting through both. Again, I am making sure everything is lining up. Nothing is missing. Alright, so now I'll put my zipper foot back on. Touch my other foot. Put this back on, do another 1/4 inch seam. Don't forget to back start your stitches. And keep going. And same thing as before, either finger pressed, magic wand press, or however you choose to do it. Get all your seams to lay flat. Okay. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm going to go to the iron and iron this. Alright, so now you are going to do the same thing as before that we did on the other side. You're going to top stitch after you get everything started. Okay, make sure your fabric is lining up. Okay, so now you are going to trim your sides of your zipper to be exactly 2.5. So that being said, what you're doing is you're going to take and measure to have everything be 2.5. Now, the best way to do that is to measure this one and okay. So I have it at 4 right now. I need to trim it down. So the best way to do that is you can take the 5.5 inch backside that you were going to have. You can lay it across here however you think is going to be even, because you have to line it up this way. But what I like to do is I will line it up at 3. Okay. That's pretty darn center for me. And then I'll go ahead and cut it that way. Lining it up. Okay. Now you can do this whatever however you choose to do it. This is how I do it. because I'm not the best at making sure things are even. So I do a little bit more steps to it. So now I know that this piece is 3, right? So because my ruler is 3. Now I'm going to cut it down to the size that I need. So let me cut that down to the size that I need. All right, so now it's actually cut down to the size that it says to do in the pattern. Now what you are going to do is you're going to line up Okay, we're not going to do this part yet. I'm skipping steps. My bad. Okay. Next, you're going to take your bottom pieces, your top and bottom pieces. Okay. And you're going to have wrong sides together, lining up all the edges, and you're going to pin well to place. So you are going to pin one together like this, where the wrong sides are together. And again with this one. So let me go ahead and pin that. And then what the directions tell you to do is you're going to take a spool of thread or whatever has a round circumference, and you're going to go around that spool or circle. Personally, I either use a pill bottle or I usually have another one around here, but I don't know where it is. But you're going to take your lining piece or your main fabric, whatever you choose to follow, and you are going to cut, you're going to mark your edges and go and baste around the edge. Now, it tells you to go ahead and pin and then do the circles. I do the opposite. I mark and then I pin. So, I give myself enough room to get the pin around. And like that. Just like that. So again, go around like that. So you can do it that way. And so we'll get started with that. All right, so I'll show you one more time how I'm doing it with the little lid. I'm going like that, lining it up, giving myself enough room to write on. Okay, and then I'm just going around the edge. Okay, now I'm going to clip it to keep everything from moving. Then it tells you to go ahead and base stitch a 1/4 inch around. I'm actually going to do just a little bit under. It's not going to matter with it being base stitched. You can go how small you, I would, if you want to do a 1/4 inch, go ahead and do a 1/4 inch. I'm going a little bit smaller. I'm going to do a scant 1/4 inch only because when I put this thing together, they won't see my stitches on the base stitching if I do it that way. But you want to be clipping it. Clip it, make sure it's, or you want to use pins, make sure the pins stay in. If you want to clip it, you can. I know the pins work a little bit better when it comes to this kind of one, because especially having to go around the corners. So now we are going to go around the corners. Don't forget you want to hit your basting one. If you have the same problem that I just did with one of the needles sticking out, just go ahead and go back over where you know it messed up. Alright, and then you can take the seams out. Don't forget to go ahead and cut up to your corners, or your curved corners. So, go ahead and trim around said corners. I usually just stick around the edges of the fabric. Like so. Just like that. Okay, so we'll do that again for the next one. And you can also do it with your main fabrics being on the outside. It's completely up to you. I like to use my lighter fabric, so if my lighter fabric's my main, then I will mark on my main. If my lighter fabric's my lining, that's how I'll do that. Okay. And that is done. Again, you can go ahead and go around and clip your corners. Okay, now that that is done, you are going to fold these in half however you can remember which way they go. Okay, because it'll be explained more in a little in the directions a little bit later. Just go ahead and fold them like that. Nothing fancy, just where you can see the seam. Okay. All right. And the same thing for the back pieces, you're going to do that. Okay. Next is the back. So the back we are going to take, and you are going to base the stitches around this one too. So line them up. However you want to line them up. And again, you can do what I do, a scant quarter. And then now fold it in half. You can go to the iron to get the crust. It's up to you. I just do that way. Now you are going to take it with your zipper piece, and you are going to just go ahead and stitch this back onto here. You're not going to base stitch, so make sure you change your settings to your regular stitch, and you are going to do a quarter inch seam on this one. Okay. And then you are going to do the same at the top part. Now the top, you want to make sure when you're doing the little zipper, pull your zipper tab down so that way it doesn't get forgotten. And then you'd have to reopen it. Okay, and then you're going to line up your edges. And then you are going to stitch across. So we're going to go ahead and stitch across. Don't forget the back stitch, and then line it up on the other side. Hold on. Okay. And now you can actually go ahead and cut the remainder of your zippers off. So right there, you can go ahead and just cut that off. Okay, and now if you want to be like me, go ahead and zigzag it, the stitch. I like to keep that because I am not going to put the extra binding on. There is extra binding that you can put on. But I'm just literally going to do the zigzag stitch. Same on this side. Okay. Now, with that being done, this is what it should look like. It should form a circle. It says a circle. I say it looks like a horseshoe with a top. But it's supposed to form it like that. Now, you're going to find the middle part of your zipper. So this is your back, this is your front. You are going to fold it like this. And you are going to, you're going to fold it like that. You're going to pull it to get like that to make it really taut. Make sure your back ends line up. And you are just going to go ahead and finger press, iron, however you want to find your edges. Okay, like so. And that is going to be the start of your middle. That's the reason why we did it on here. And you are going to pin and clip however many times you want to do this part. So right there's the middle of this one. And I'm going to do that. So now I am also having all of my seams face towards the back, like so. And I'm clipping them in place. Okay, same thing over here. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and start sewing. You can clip it more. I know a lot of people rather clip a lot more. More is good for them, not necessarily for me. I kind of like less clips, but you can clip it going all the way around, however you feel comfortable doing it. Okay, and then you are going to start sewing a 1/4 inch seam all the way around. So I will start in the middle. So as you can see, I'm starting in the middle, and do that. Remember to not have the zigzag stitch on. Okay. Keep going around your curve. Keep going all the way around. Okay. 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 Sometimes if you do what I just did, it makes a little goof, so I'll just go back a few steps. Okay. And then I will reclip a few spots. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna go back over and redo that spot again. Go away. Okay. Now all right, so now I'm gonna go over my curved edges again. And then you will the seams. Continue going around the edges. If it helps to open up your zipper to give you less bulk, you can. Okay, have it go around. Still keeping that separate. As you can see, I'm still keeping it separate. Okay, and then I'm going to take that out. Make sure everything doesn't start to scrunch up on me. There we go. Okay. Alright, so that's out of the way. There, lay it flat. And then keep going around it. Okay. I will say putting stuff around the corner is the hardest for me, but you get used to it. You just remember to go slow. It's not a race. If you feel something's off, it probably is. Okay. All right, hold on. All right. Now, if you have the time to do it, you can also base stitch or base glue your corners while you're going around it. Whatever you feel comfortable doing it that way, that's perfectly fine too, if you want to do it that way. Some people might find it that way a little bit easier than the way that I'm doing it. If you feel easier pinning it, you can pin it too. but it's really just what you're comfortable with doing. I don't have 30 seconds. So you can do it that way. You can also have it where you have the zipper part up if you're more comfortable with the zipper part being up, so you can see what you're doing when it comes to the curves, which I think is how we did it last time. Okay. All right, so yeah, last time I did it with the zipper part facing up, and I had the curve side down because it was easier for me to see what I was working with. So then I'm able to play with the zipper part a lot easier. So I'll show better on the other side. But you want your zipper part facing up when you're doing this instead of being down, because then you can see exactly where your fabric is going. And just like that. Okay. Okay. Okay, and now you can switch it over to the zigzag stitch if you wanted. Just to go around your corners real quick to keep your fabrics together. You could do the bias binding inside if you want. I am not going to do that. I'm going to use the zigzag stitch. Okay. And there you are. Okay. Now to the other side. So again, you're going to find the middle crease of your lining. You're going to have it line up with the other side. Okay, just like that. And you can pin and clip as many times as you want. Again, I have all of my stuff facing towards the back. Okay. And as I work around this one, I'm going to make sure my zipper part is up versus my back part. Okay. So I'm going to have the zipper up like this so I can see where it's going versus my top or bottom piece, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so this part is going to be facing up as I go around, because it's easier for me to find that and follow that versus having my zipper piece down. Okay, so make sure you switch it from your zipper foot. Okay. and have your little, if you have an awl or something to help you when you're going through the thick parts, it really does help. Okay, and then this we will just continue to use to go around the edges. Okay, and keep going around. Okay, keep going. Okay, I'm going to take that clip off, and then as we go around, okay, and then hold on, please. Okay, then keep going around. Okay, make sure your edges are getting around the corner. Okay, and then go that way with it. Okay, make sure everything stays out of the way. Okay. Alright, and then follow this one all the way around. Okay. Okay. Alright, and then when you are done, okay, don't forget to backstitch and start your zigzag stitch just to get your edges hot. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just make sure you're grabbing fabric. See, I'm about to get the bag itself. Alright. Then, once it makes its way around, okay, right here. Alright. Lock in your stitches, cut it, and you are done. Okay, and now you can clean up your stitches. Kind of like what I had to do, clean up a little bit here and there. Okay, now you want to make sure it's all the way unzipped. I'll move over this way for you guys. Okay, now you want to make sure everything gets unzipped, and you can start to push out your corners. like that. Okay. And you can clean them up when you're done. And now all you have to do is take it, and you can take it, steam it, press it, put your pillbox in here to make it nice and stiff. You can also use it to hold your toothpaste or your toothbrush if you want to put some of the liquid vinyl in there to make it water resistant. You can do that, and for easy cleanup. You can also put makeup brushes in here if you do not like putting your makeup brushes in with your makeup brushes in with your makeup. If you like to be like some people I know, they like to carry their makeup outside their makeup stuff. So this is great for that. But there you have it. A simple and easy, quick pill case. All right, and don't forget, you guys can come by the shop, pick up your kit. You can order online. Again, thanks you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next week. Bye.